Hello, everyone. Welcome to this podcast. My name is Brad Taves, and you have made it here. So thanks for coming and checking this out. I appreciate you showing up. And I'm super excited to launch my new podcast here. And today is episode 1, and the title of the talk is Dream Yourself Awake. I heard this recently from a guy by the name of Michael Bernard Beckwith, and it was probably maybe a year ago that I heard this phrase, and it's been just rattling around in my mind for quite some time. And I've been thinking about the concept of dreaming and how there's a lightness about dreaming that we are drawn to, and dreaming is a word that invokes images of a bright future. We are encouraged to follow our dreams, to chase after them, to follow our passions, to arouse the thing that makes us feel alive and do that thing. However, I believe that there is a possible danger to dreaming. And so I want to debunk this myth that we should follow our dreams. Or maybe another way to put it is understanding where your dreams come from and the purpose to having a vision that is beyond where you are right now. So first of all, I want to separate the two kind of dreams that we have. And this is fairly straightforward. We probably all understand this. We experience this every day. But the first kind of dream is that subconscious dream. So while we are sleeping, we will often have dreams. Sometimes we will remember them. Other times we don't want to remember them because they were just crazy. But while we are at rest and the conscious mind is able to have solitude and recoup, that subconscious mind continues to be at work, and it is doing stuff, and we find ourselves caught up in these crazy stories that are happening in our dream world. And it's wild because we would have never maybe thought about that kind of stuff while we were consciously awake. So I want to share one dream I had that I'll never forget. So I was in Quito, Ecuador, the capital of Ecuador, and Quito is really high up. It's about almost 10,000 feet above sea level. I was there for some music performances. We were part of Quito Days, which was their yearly national festival, kind of like Carnival. Lots of music, lots of food, entertainment, and had a great time. And I remember this one night I was sleeping, I was dreaming, and in my dream, I imagined that someone was attacking me, and I could see their hand coming for me, and it was gonna grab my skull, or it was gonna punch me in the face, or it was gonna hurt me in some way, and it freaked me out. And then I woke up, thankful, and I turned the light on, and what I realized what I was doing is it was my hand that was actually attacking me, and my other hand was grabbing my arm, holding my hand back because it was about to hurt me. And I don't know if it was a hallucination, if it was the high altitude, if it was the immunization that I took before the trip. I don't know what caused it. But anyway, it was funny because here it was, I was actually attacking myself. That's the kind of dream that I want to wake up from, because if I'm attacking myself, I want to know that that's happening. So that's an example of a dream. But some dreams, I have dreams where I fly a lot. That's kind of like a recurring dream that shows up in my dream world. And I think for me that I do have this deep yearning for freedom. I want to experience what it means to be without limitation. I see that cropping up a lot in my life. And so flying, I think from a visual standpoint, is this way for me to be expressing freedom and to be living it out. So that is your subconscious dream. The other dream happens in our consciousness. It is the dreams that we think about. So when someone asks you, what are your dreams for your future? What are you hoping to accomplish in this life that you're living? And so we would tell them, well, I'm dreaming of, I want to move someday to another part of the world. I want to start a business. I want to have a family. I have a dream of starting a band, a music band, or I want to be an artist, or the list goes on. And when you graduate from high school or university, this word dream and hopes for the future is a common phrase because we want to understand, we want to encourage people to go after their dreams, right? Martin Luther King, I have a dream. We gravitate to this language because it conjures up something inside of us that is moving us towards a future that is maybe different than what we're presently living. I remember years ago, I grew up in Edmonton, Alberta, in Canada, and I remember Jan Arden, who is an artist, a Canadian artist, who I don't know if she's released stuff recently, but she has some great songs from the past. And I remember going to a concert, and I remember sitting on this grassy hill. I remember it very clearly. And I saw the concert, and there was something inside of me that said, I want to do that. I want to be on a stage performing, making music, because that stirs me. And since that time, I went to school for music. I played in bands. I performed. I was part of recording sessions. I taught music. I made it my life. And I remember that moment where I had a picture of someone else doing something that they were living out, and it became something that I wanted. And it was amazing, because had I not had that experience, maybe I wouldn't have made all those choices to follow that desire that was churning inside of me that wanted to come out. Okay, so let's move now to a couple of different problems. So the first problem is reality. And the truth is that reality sucks a lot of the time. Do we really like that phrase, just be in the real world, get your head out of the clouds and get to work and show up for school and show up for work and do your chores, do the right thing? A lot of what we experience in the real world is all not all that fun. It can be boring. It can be tedious. It is draining. It can feel overwhelming. The list goes on, right? We don't necessarily want to be in the real world. And we see this evidence with the music that we listen to that kind of pulls us out into this dreamy landscape or into a story scenario. Movies, obviously, which are amazing, and movies are fantastic stories that can portray what it means to be human, and we're pulled out of reality into something different because we don't maybe like reality. So it almost like the movie industry can almost feed on the fact that reality sucks. So let's create these stories where we can leave reality and escape into that. So that's kind of self-evident. On the flip side, there is also this problem of dreaming. And here's what I want to suggest, is that if your dream is something that lies outside of yourself, and it's something that is usually in the future, but it's something that you currently do not have, that's a problem. And the reason why is this, is that when you create this gap between where you are now, what you don't have, and you see something in the future that you want to have, it could be material possessions, it could be a bigger house, it could be successful in your business, it could be whatever, you are now separating yourself from the thing that you want. And the assumption here is that in order for you to get from where you are now, which you don't have the thing, to having it requires a lot of work. It requires a lot of strain and a lot of desiring to get yourself from one spot to the other. And what I would suggest is that whatever stands outside of yourself will be unable to be held within yourself. Okay, so I'll say it again. If you create something in your mind, a picture of something that is outside of yourself, the ability for you to actually hold that within yourself would be very difficult, because it didn't start within you. It started outside of you. I believe that a lot of our dreams, and whenever we talk about what are your dreams, typically our mind will go to the thing that our society has stamped their approval on to say, these are good dreams, right? I think we would all agree with that. So if I think it's good to have more money. I think it's good to be further along, to make myself up in the world, right? To climb the corporate ladder, and to be an achiever, and to do more and have more and become more. And we go up that ladder because we think that that's what we should be doing, because we all kind of have collectively agreed that is what a dream looks like. And sometimes it is. And that's kind of maybe where it gets tricky. Sometimes those dreams can be your dreams. But the question that I would want to propose is that your dream? Is that coming from within you? Is it being birthed out of what you truly are curious about? Something that you are created for? That kind of question is something that needs to come outside of you. If it's not, then it's possible that you might be chasing someone else's dream. You might be chasing your tail. you might be going in a direction that's not fitted for you. It seems like it should be fitted, but it's not. And because what happened is, let's say you do accomplish the dream. You cross the chasm, you cross the gap, and here you are holding the thing that you wanted, experiencing it, living it out, and there's a disillusionment that happens. And you feel robbed, possibly, that the thing that you wanted did not provide you with what you actually wanted. It's almost like you wanted what you didn't want. And that's unfortunate. And then what happens is, maybe you have a couple options. You either ask some honest questions and dig it apart and say, maybe this wasn't the right thing, and maybe I need to rethink how I'm coming up with my dreams. Or maybe the quicker response is, this didn't cut it, so I guess I need to come up with another dream. And I'm going to create some other thing way out there in the distance, and I'm going to go after that one. Because this dream didn't satisfy. I need to create something that is better and bigger and whatever. That's unfortunate, and I think we do that a lot of times in our life, because this momentary feeling that we have of dissatisfaction, we quickly replace it with, I need to create something new because I haven't quite arrived yet. And so I don't want to feel discomfort. I don't want to feel this like discontentment. So I'm going to create something else and move towards that. So there's the problem of reality. Reality sucks. We try to escape it. But there's also this problem of dreams that can also carry this subtlety that can also be very damaging. So I want to move into this next part. And I heard this amazing idea. It was presented by a man by the name of Alan Watts. And I don't know too much about him, but he talked about this idea of dreaming. So here was his idea. Let's imagine that for the next 75, 80 years of your life, however long you get to live on this planet, you get to dream every night of whatever it is that you truly desire. And he said in the beginning of that process, a lot of our dreams would be so pleasure-based. We would want the best food and the most romantic experience. We would want to travel the world and the universe, and we would just want to satisfy everything that we feel like maybe we've been deprived of our whole lives. That would maybe be where we would start off. Almost like the genie, and we rub the lantern, right? And the genie comes out. Rub the genie. Rub the thing, and then the genie pops out, and I grant you whatever wish you want. We would typically want to go after those dreams. But he said, you know what? After a while, let's say you did this for a month or a year, you might get disappointed with that, because all of a sudden you're getting everything that you want. So you want a Ferrari, you get a Ferrari. You want a vacation to the Bahamas, you get a vacation to the Bahamas. Whatever it is that your heart so desired, you would get it. And it's almost that would become a hell for you because there's all of a sudden you're just getting everything. So where's the fun in that? Where is the pleasure in getting all your pleasure? So then he said, your dreams would probably morph into this, I want some element of uncertainty. I don't want to know exactly how this all turns out. Give me some surprise. Give me some element of question to how this is all going to pan out. And then you would kind of fall into that, and you would have some more interesting dreams. And the further and further that your dreaming process goes, you would get to the point where you don't want to control it all. You don't want to know how it all turns out. It's like, for example, let's say that you're sitting and you're watching a movie, and this is the first time that you're watching the movie, and you're sitting beside someone else. This happens to us, and they kind of chime in and they tell us what's going on. Like, I don't want to know. I don't want to know what the next scene is, and I don't want to know that there's this amazing transformational moment that's going to happen, and oh, did you know there's going to be this plot twist? Like, don't tell me any of that. I don't want this to be a surprise for me. I want to be carried into and pulled into what has been created, and let me experience it for myself. So his idea was that eventually the dream would circle itself back around so that you would dream of where you are now. I found that such a fascinating concept, because I have never thought of dreams being given to me in that way. Dreams are always out there in the distance. It was something for me to work for me to strive and struggle, and for me not to have now, but for me to have in the future. But let this idea marinate with you. What if your dream was to be fully present to where you are right here, right now, in this moment? That may not be all that attractive. Who wants to dream of the present situation when the present reality is awful? When you are discouraged, you are downtrodden, you feel hopeless? Why would you want to dream of that? But the cool thing is, and the good news in this, is that if we are this beautiful blend of a finite being interacting with the infinite, the present moment that we find ourselves in, we are able to experience the infinite. We can delve into the creative wellspring that lies deep within each one of all of us. And from that place, we can dream. We can allow the ideas that are within us to come outside of us. The dreams that we start to reflect and the ideas that we want to pursue in this world are being generated from within you. You're not grabbing hold of an image or some socially accepted idea that everyone else seems to think is okay, or the American dream, or however you want to phrase it. We are releasing ourselves from that. We're releasing ourselves into what is, as opposed to rather hoping for what isn't. Because maybe that thing isn't for you. Maybe it is for someone else. Maybe what you're dreaming for is someone else's dream. And you don't know that right now. And so what I would encourage you to do is to practice this, is to find a way for you to dream of what you're living today. Don't play God in your life. Do not play the card that you can control everything, or that you know best, because maybe you don't know best, meaning the false self of you, right? The part of us that has constructed our identity around our insecurities and how we think things should operate. But there is a part of you that is divinely intuitive. It is a part of us that knows deeply the things that excite us, the things that are what we want to follow, the things that we want to talk about, the way that we want to live. So that is why I want to leave with you, my friends, is I encourage you to dream of where you are now, and I want you to dream yourself awake. Dream yourself into the reality that I am living here now in this moment. I want to be conscious. I want to be aware. I want to be enlightened of what is happening here. And let those dreams come outside of you, as opposed to pursuing something that is not for you. Because if you get something that is not for you, it is not going to fit you. It's not going to fit you like a nice coat. But if it comes from within you, you will always have it. It was yours. It was given to you. It's a gift that you were meant to go after. And I think that starting point is amazing. And if we start from there, then we can pursue our dreams. We can move and we can work and we can labor. And it will be hard. It will be difficult. But at least we are draining ourselves and we are exerting ourselves into something that already belongs to us. That I think is crucial. I think that just changes everything. Thanks for checking this podcast out. I hope to hear from you soon. And thanks everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.